Ladies and gentlemen, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. There are moments when the clouds come in, the storms rage, and you feel like you're drowning. Moments when the ground beneath your feet feels shaky, when nothing seems to go your way, when life knocks you down again and again. And it's in those moments that your character is tested. It's in those moments that you discover who you really are. So today I'm here to tell you this: when life gets hard, you must get harder. You see, life will not always go the way you planned. You will encounter setbacks, disappointments, and heartache. But I want you to understand something. Your struggles do not define you. What defines you is how you respond to those struggles, how you pick yourself up, how you rise from the ashes when everything feels like it's falling apart. Life is not about avoiding hard times. Life is about how you handle them when they come. Here's what you need to know. Tough times don't come to destroy you. They come to strengthen you. They come to reveal your true power. In the midst of hardship, you discover what you're really made of. When life gets hard, that's when you grow. That's when you learn what you're capable of. You don't grow in the easy times, you grow in the struggle. Life has a way of teaching you lessons through adversity. It will test your resilience. It will force you to question everything, including yourself. But those moments of pain, those moments of doubt, are preparing you for something bigger. They are shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the success, the dreams, and the victories that are ahead. When you're going through hard times, it's easy to ask, why me? Why is this happening to me? But instead of asking, why me? I want you to ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every hardship, every setback has a lesson embedded in it. Sometimes life takes you through difficult experiences because it's trying to grow you into the person you were meant to be. So don't run from the pain. Don't hide from the struggle. Embrace it. Face it head on. Because on the other side of that struggle is your strength. Let me tell you something about the people who make it in life. The people who achieve great things, who reach their dreams. They aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who refuse to give up when life gets hard. They're the ones who develop mental toughness. You got to develop a resilience so strong that nothing, and I mean nothing, can break you. You got to train your mind to endure, because life will throw things at you that you didn't see coming. It will test you in ways you never imagined. And if your mind isn't prepared, if you haven't built that mental toughness, you'll crumble. Here's what you got to do. You got to condition your mind to stay strong no matter what comes your way. You got to refuse to let negativity take root in your mind, because once negativity gets in, it will spread like wildfire. Life will try to plant seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity in your mind, but you got to have the strength to rip those seeds out before they take root. Say this with me: I will not be defeated. Say it like you mean it. When life gets hard, you've got to have the determination to fight back. You've got to look life dead in the eyes and say, is that all you've got? Because you are stronger than any storm, tougher than any challenge, and more powerful than any obstacle that comes your way. Let me tell you something. Every great person you've ever admired, every champion, every trailblazer, they all have one thing in common. They've been through hell. They've faced adversity. They've been knocked down, they've been rejected, they've been told they couldn't do it. But guess what? They didn't let that stop them. They didn't let hard times define their destiny. They chose to rise. Look at people like Oprah Winfrey, who faced poverty, abuse, and rejection early in life. But she didn't let that stop her from becoming one of the most successful people in the world. Look at Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, but didn't let bitterness or anger consume him. He came out and became a global symbol of peace and resilience. These people faced unimaginable struggles, but they refused to let those struggles break them. And let me tell you something else. The road to success is paved with rejection. It's paved with failure. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you get to that yes. You're going to stumble. You're going to fall. But the only way you truly fail is if you stay down. You've got to be like a boxer in the ring. Every time life knocks you down, you get back up. No matter how many times you fall, you get up again. That's the only way you win. When life gets hard, it's easy to feel like a victim. It's easy to blame your circumstances, to say, why does this always happen to me? But let me tell you something. You are not a victim. You are a warrior. You've got the power within you to overcome anything that comes your way. You've got the power to rise above the circumstances, to fight back. Here's what you got to do. You got to take control of your mindset. When life gets tough, you've got to be tougher. You got to look at your problems and say, I will not let this defeat me. You got to dig deep within yourself and find that inner strength, that warrior spirit that refuses to quit, refuses to give up, refuses to surrender. You can't control everything that happens to you in life. You can't control the challenges, the obstacles, the setbacks, but you can control how you respond. You can control how you show up. You can control your attitude, your effort, your persistence. You can control your decision to keep going, to keep fighting, no matter how hard life gets. When life gets hard, it's easy to get caught in a cycle of negativity. It's easy to focus on what's going wrong, to let those negative thoughts take over. But here's what you've got to understand. Negativity is a trap. It's like quicksand. It will pull you down deeper and deeper until you're completely stuck. But you've got to be stronger than that. You've got to break free from the cycle of negativity and choose to focus on the good. I know it's hard. I know it feels impossible sometimes. But you got to train your mind to find the positive, even in the darkest of times. You've got to train your mind to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You've got to train your mind to see growth where others see failure. The most successful people in life are the ones who can look at a problem and see a solution. They don't dwell on what's wrong. They focus on how to make it right. And that's what you've got to do when life gets hard. Don't focus on the problem. Focus on the solution. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on the growth. Don't focus on what's gone wrong. Focus on what you can do to make it right. Now, I want to talk to you about something that will carry you through the hardest times in your life. Persistence and faith. When life gets hard, and it will, the only thing that will keep you going is your belief that things will get better. You've got to have faith in yourself, faith in your dreams, and faith in your ability to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. And that's where persistence comes in. Persistence is the fuel that keeps the fire of faith burning. It's the ability to keep going when everything in you is telling you to quit. It's the ability to keep moving forward when the path seems impossible. Persistence is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up. Every time you face a setback, you've got to remind yourself, this is temporary. This too shall pass. I will not let this defeat me. I will keep going. I will keep fighting. I will keep moving forward. Because guess what? The storm won't last forever. The sun will shine again. But you got to be there to see it. You got to outlast the storm. You got to have the persistence and faith to keep going, even when everything seems dark. When life gets hard, you have a choice. You can choose to let the difficulties break you, or you can choose to let them make you stronger. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight back. You can choose to stay down, or you can choose to get back up. The power of choice, how to respond to life's challenges. When life gets hard, you have a choice. You can choose to let the difficulties break you, or you can choose to let them make you stronger. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight back. You can choose to stay down, or you can choose to get back up. The power to decide how you respond is in your hands. No one can take that away from you. Here's what I want you to understand. Life is about choices. You may not choose the challenges that come your way, but you always have the power to choose how you respond. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a victor. And that choice will determine the rest of your life. Every great victory starts with a decision to keep going, to keep fighting, to never give up. One of the biggest obstacles you'll face when life gets hard is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough. But let me tell you something. Fear is just a state of mind. It's a creation of your imagination. It's not real. And you have the power to control it. You see, fear thrives in uncertainty. When you're going through hard times, fear will try to tell you that things will never get better. It will try to convince you that you're not strong enough to handle what's coming. But you got to remember this. Fear only has the power that you give it. You got to take control of your mind and refuse to let fear dictate your actions. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. Courage is taking action even when you're scared. Courage is facing the uncertainty with the belief that you will find a way through. So, when life gets hard, I want you to dig deep and find that courage. I want you to push through the fear, push through the doubt, and keep moving forward. And then let me tell you something that you need to hold on to when life gets hard. You are stronger than you think. You've been through tough times before, and you survived. You made it through challenges that you thought would break you, and here you are. You have a strength inside of you that is greater than any obstacle you will ever face, but you've got to believe in it. Self-belief is the foundation of success. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in your ability to overcome, you will never succeed. The world can tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, but it's your job to tell yourself the truth. I am strong, I am capable, I can handle this. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. And when life gets hard, you've got to use it. You've got to talk to yourself, encourage yourself, remind yourself of the battles you've already won. Because if you did it once, you can do it again. If you've overcome obstacles before, you can overcome them again. Now, I want you to understand something. Hard times don't last forever, but tough people do. Life is going to throw everything it has at you, but you've got to have the perseverance to keep going. You've got to refuse to give up, no matter how hard things get. There's a saying that I love. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And you are tough. You've been through hard times before, and you made it. You're still standing, you're still fighting, you're still here. And that means you're capable of handling whatever life throws at you next. Here's the key to overcoming hard times. Never give up. No matter how difficult things get, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you got to keep getting back up. You got to have the perseverance to keep moving forward, even when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, because guess what? The light is there. You just have to keep going until you reach it. Let me tell you something. There's always a reward on the other side of hardship. Every storm you go through is preparing you for the victory that's coming. Every struggle you face is shaping you into the person you need to be to handle the success that's on its way. The challenges you're facing right now are not permanent, they are temporary, but the strength, the resilience, the perseverance you develop while going through them, those are permanent. Those are the things that will carry you to your next level of success. And when you get through the storm, when you come out on the other side, you will look back and realize that every hard moment, every setback, every obstacle was worth it because it made you stronger. It made you wiser. It made you more resilient. And most importantly, it made you unstoppable. Now, I want you to think about something. When you're going through hard times, it's not just about you. It's about the people who are watching you. It's about the legacy you're leaving behind. How you handle hard times will inspire others. Your perseverance, your strength, your resilience, it will give others the courage to face their own challenges. When life gets hard, you have the opportunity to show the world what you're made of. You have the opportunity to set an example for others to follow. Your legacy is not built in the easy times. It's built in the hard times. It's built in the moments when you refuse to give up, when you keep going, even though everything in you wants to quit. So when life gets hard, remember this. You are not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for the people who are looking up to you. You are fighting for the people who need your strength, your example, your courage. You are fighting for your legacy. So I ask you today, what are you going to do when life gets hard? Are you going to give up? Are you going to let the challenges break you? Or are you going to rise? Are you going to fight back? Are you going to keep going until you reach the other side? Because let me tell you this, you are stronger than any challenge that comes your way. You are tougher than any obstacle. You are more powerful than any storm. And when life gets hard, you have the power to overcome. You have the power to rise. You have the power to win. Say it with me. I will not be defeated. Say it again. I will not be defeated. You've got greatness within you. You've got strength beyond measure. And no matter how hard life gets, you've got what it takes to keep going. The world is waiting for your greatness. It's time to rise. It's time to fight. It's time to show the world what you're made of. When life gets hard, you get harder. Let's go out there and make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've been through storms. I know you've been knocked down, bruised, and maybe even broken. But here's what I want you to remember. This is not the end of your story. In fact, this is just the beginning of a new chapter. And this chapter is not about pain or struggle. It's about comeback. It's about resilience. It's about rising from the ashes stronger, tougher, and more determined than ever before. You see, hard times don't just test your strength. They reveal it. They show you what you're made of. And just when you think you've hit rock bottom, that's when you discover a strength inside of you that you didn't even know was there. So, this part of your story is about more than surviving. It's about thriving. It's about turning the hardships of life into fuel for your greatest achievements. Here's the truth, and I want you to hear this loud and clear. Discomfort is your greatest teacher. When life is easy, when everything is going your way, you don't grow. You coast. You stay in your comfort zone, and nothing ever changes. But when life gets tough, when everything around you is falling apart, that's when you are forced to grow. That's when you learn to push past your limits, to stretch beyond what you thought was possible. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to become the person you were destined to be, you got to embrace discomfort. You got to face it head on and understand that the pain you feel today is building your strength for tomorrow. Think about it. How many times have you gone through something that seemed unbearable in the moment, but looking back, you realize it was the very thing that prepared you for the next level of your life? That breakup, that job loss, that failure, it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something greater. The power of perspective during hard times. When life gets hard, the way you choose to see your situation will determine your outcome. Perspective is everything. Two people can go through the exact same storm, but one will come out broken while the other will come out stronger. What's the difference? Their mindset, their perspective. Like, you have to train your mind to see challenges, not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Opportunities to grow, opportunities to learn, opportunities to reinvent yourself. You got to stop seeing hard times as punishment and start seeing them as preparation. Listen, I've been through my own share of hard times. I've faced rejection. I've been told no more times than I can count. I've been fired, counted out, and left behind. But through it all, I realized something powerful. The struggle is temporary, but the lessons are forever. The pain you're going through is not in vain. It's shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. So change your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? Every storm has a lesson, and if you look closely enough, you'll find that the hardest moments of your life are the very ones that shape your character, your grit, your resilience. Here's something you've got to understand. Success takes time, and when life gets hard, it's easy to get impatient. It's easy to feel like giving up because the road seems too long, too difficult, too overwhelming. But let me tell you this, anything worth having takes time. Anything worth building requires patience and perseverance. Think about a tree. You plant the seed, you water it, you nurture it, but you don't see the fruit right away. It takes time. The roots are growing deep underground where no one can see. And that's how life is. When you're going through hard times, you may not see the results right away. You may not see the progress. But let me tell you, growth is happening beneath the surface. Every time you refuse to give up, every time you push through the pain, every time you get back up after a setback, your roots are growing deeper. And one day, that tree will bear fruit. One day, you will look back and realize that every moment of struggle, every ounce of pain was worth it. When life gets hard, doubt creeps in. Fear sets up camp in your mind, telling you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes. And I get it. It's easy to doubt yourself when everything seems to be going wrong. But here's what I want you to understand. Doubt is a liar. Fear is a liar. They only have power if you give it to them. You got to fight back. You got to look fear in the face and say, not today. You got to look at doubt and say, I am more than enough. I am capable. I am worthy of success. Because let me tell you something. You were born with greatness inside of you. But that greatness will never be unleashed if you let fear and doubt control your life. The truth is, fear doesn't go away. It doesn't magically disappear one day. But you can learn to walk with fear. You can learn to move forward in spite of it. And when you do, you'll discover that fear loses its grip. The more you face it, the smaller it becomes. So stop letting fear paralyze you. Stop letting doubt keep you from taking action. When life gets hard, it's not the time to shrink back. It's the time to step forward with courage, with determination, with an unshakable belief in yourself. When life gets hard, you've got to remember your why. Why did you start this journey? Why did you set those goals in the first place? Because when the road gets tough, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, it's easy to lose sight of your vision. But you've got to stay committed. You've got to hold on to that vision like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Success isn't just about talent or luck. It's about commitment. It's about staying the course, even when everything in you wants to quit. It's about showing up day after day, putting in the work, and trusting that the results will come. You may not see the progress immediately, but as long as you stay committed, as long as you keep moving forward, success is inevitable. Say this with me: I will not quit. Say it again: I will not quit. When life gets hard, you got to dig your heels in and refuse to give up. You got to remind yourself of the vision you had when you started. And you got to keep going, no matter what. Let me tell you something important. When life gets hard, you've got to take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish. It's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't fight life's battles if you're running on fumes. So when the pressure is on, when the challenges are mounting, take a step back and recharge. Rest, reflect, refuel. Self-care isn't just about taking a break. It's about nurturing your mind, body, and soul. It's about doing the things that keep you grounded, that keep you centered, that remind you of your power. Whether it's meditation, exercise, reading, or simply spending time with loved ones, whatever it is, make time for it. Because here's the truth: you are your greatest asset. And if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of your dreams. So when life gets hard, don't just push through without pause. Take a moment to rest. Take a moment to reflect. And then get back in the game stronger than ever. When life gets hard, it's easy to feel like you're alone. But let me remind you of something. You are not alone. You are surrounded by people who love you, who support you, who believe in you. And in those tough moments, lean on them. Find strength in your community, in your circle of friends, in the people who lift you up when you're down. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to let others in, because we weren't meant to go through life's struggles alone. We were meant to face them together, to support one another, to carry each other through the storm. And when you come out on the other side, stronger, tougher, and more resilient, you'll look back and realize that the people who stood by you during the hard times are the ones who helped you become who you are. So nurture your relationships. Build your support system. And remember, when life gets hard, you are never alone. So here we are. Life is tough, no doubt about it, but you are tougher. So here we are. Life is tough, no doubt about it, but you are tougher. Everything you've been through has led you to this moment, and you are still standing. You've survived 100% of your hardest days. That tells me one thing: you've got the heart of a warrior. And warriors don't back down when life gets hard. They rise up. This is your moment. This is where you show the world what you're made of. Not in the easy times, but in the hard times. Not when everything is going your way, but when everything seems to be falling apart. This is where champions are made. This is where legacies are born. When life gets hard, you've got to dig deep and find that inner warrior. You've got to remind yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. You've got to refuse to be defeated. And most importantly, you've got to keep moving forward. And say it with me: I will not quit. Say it again: I will not quit. Because quitting is not an option. Giving up is not an option. You've come too far, you've fought too hard, and you've got too much greatness inside of you to let life's challenges stop you. So I'm asking you today, what are you going to do when life gets hard? Are you going to let the challenges break you, or are you going to rise up and face them head on? Are you going to let life's difficulties stop you, or are you going to dig deep and find the strength to push through? Because here's the truth. Hard times are temporary, but the strength you gain from them is permanent. The pain you feel today will fade, but the resilience, the determination, and the courage you build will stay with you forever. And when you come out on the other side, you will be unstoppable. This is your time. This is your moment. When life gets hard, you get harder. When life knocks you down, you get back up stronger. When life tries to break you, you rise up and show the world that you cannot be defeated. The world is waiting for your greatness. It's time to rise. It's time to fight. It's time to show the world what you're made of. Let's go out there and make it happen.